Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. The 20 best wide receivers in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are known best for their defense, but through the years, they've always had an innate ability to find talent at the wide receiver position through the NFL draft. Their success runs back to early in the franchise's history and continues through the modern era. Pittsburgh's next-man-up mentality at the position has produced numerous Pro Bowl players and 1,000-yard receiving performances. Their success drafting the position has led to several Hall of Fame players at the position and a few more who could earn a gold jacket someday. Remarkably, the Steelers didn't have to spend a lot of first-round draft capital over the years to produce the cream of the crop at the wide receiver position. These 20 players have proven themselves to be the best in franchise history. Narrowing this list to 20 receivers wasn't easy. Since the start of Pittsburgh's professional football franchise in 1933, there have been dozens of players who warrant consideration to rank among the greatest the team has seen at the WR position. Multiple factors were considered when comprising these rankings. One of these is the longevity of a player's Steelers career. How long they sported the black and gold and aided this team to success matters. At the same time, I didn't discredit those who had short careers in Pittsburgh but were dominant players even if only for a brief period of time. As objectively as possible, I also looked at the impact each of these receivers had on the team and how much they did for their supporting cast around them. This included memorable plays and clutch performances in crucial moments of the game. Of course, statistical production also played a major factor in determining these rankings. Those who were able to dominate the stat sheet proved to have major roles with the team, and a few Steelers receivers did this at a legendary level. For a player to qualify for these rankings, they must have played a minimum of one season with the Steelers and record at least 1,000 total receiving yards during their time in Pittsburgh. I need to start by showing some love to Martavis Bryant. The polarizing wide receiver had an NFL career that fizzled out quickly due to multiple suspensions for substance abuse, but he was electrifying in just 36 total games as a member of the Steelers. The very first play of Bryant's NFL career was a 35-yard touchdown reception against the Texans in 2014. Over his first 19 NFL games in 2014 and 2015, Bryant recorded 74 receptions for 1,308 yards and 14 touchdowns. At nearly 6 feet 4 inches with 4.42 speed, Bryant proved to be one of the best deep threats in the league early in his career, and his ability to stretch the field and allow Antonio Brown to work underneath often went unnoticed. Charles Johnson earned a bad rap during his playing days. While he didn't live up to lofty expectations as Pittsburgh's first-round pick in the 1994 NFL Draft, he was still a respectable football player who had some big seasons for an otherwise unspectacular Steelers passing attack in the 90s. Johnson's first 2 NFL seasons were nothing to write home about, and his slow start as the 17th overall pick in the draft caused fans to lose hope in the talented wide receiver out of Colorado. By year 3, however, Johnson started to figure things out and he strung together his best NFL season, earning 1,008 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns while managing an impressive 10.0 yards per target. There were plenty of Steelers wideouts who were more consistent than Johnson over the years, but the first-round draft pick recorded 2,391 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns over his final 3 seasons in Pittsburgh before playing for the Eagles, Patriots, and Bills. Johnson earned 3,400 receiving yards in 5 seasons with the Steelers. How to get tickets for Steelers training camp in 2024. If you've never sat on the hillside at St. Vincent College for Steelers training camp, you don't know what you're missing. Fans can scan the 4 practice fields beneath them as 90 players fight tooth and nail for positioning each practice session. Steelers camp is the ideal time to catch your team in action outside of an NFL stadium. The atmosphere is phenomenal and there's something for the whole family. Fans can participate in festivities, purchase player-worn practice jerseys, or load up on food at the vendors before finding a seat in the bleachers. Hundreds of fans will line the pathway leading from the facility to the field in hopes of snagging a few autographs when practice finishes, as others find a seat and intently examine the team they will be watching during the upcoming season. How you are planning on attending Steelers training camp this year? How can you secure tickets? Here's everything you need to know. Tickets for Steelers training camp can be secured and purchased through Steelers.com or Ticketmaster. Your phone is your ticket. You will need to bring your smartphone with you and have your QR code for each ticket ready to be scanned. This can be done through email or the Ticketmaster app. Is Brandon Aiyuk better than George Pickens? Many Steelers fans believe that George Pickens is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. At the very least, they maintain that he is among the most talented and only needs to prove himself. But how does he compare to Brandon Aiyuk, the name so often connected to the Steelers this offseason? Brandon Aiyuk manages to be productive in the most run-heavy offense in the league. Nobody attempted fewer passes last year than the San Francisco 49ers, though the Pittsburgh Steelers also ranked 29th. He still outproduced George Pickens, however. So why exactly are we talking about this? Well, many still believe the Steelers will trade for a wide receiver, and Aiyuk is the best receiver available on the trade market. He's even talked openly about the possibility, so it's not coming out of nowhere. And the reality is he would be the top receiver over Pickens if he found himself here, at least initially. Aiyuk over Pickens is a seniority and productivity honorific. But featuring in the same offense with the same coordinator and same quarterback, they would be competing routinely for targets and production. Both of them are capable of producing big plays, averaging north of 17 yards per pass attempt. They don't necessarily need heavy volume to produce. What the question ultimately boils down to is this: the Steelers probably don't trade for Brandon Aiyuk if they think George Pickens is better. They can't trade for Aiyuk without paying for him, but if they pay for him, they can't afford Pickens. At least, it would be very difficult to fit two top-of-the-market wide receiver contracts on your salary cap. Let's assume, though, that the Steelers are not trading for Aiyuk. I doubt that they will, anyway. We can still ask the same question: is he better than Pickens? Presumably, Pickens is in a better position this year thanks to Russell Wilson and Arthur Smith. If he doesn't take that big step forward this year, what will that say about him and his ceiling? And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.